Oh man, this world is still a little hard to live for Lumix. You know, even if they have a so much better image quality than other brands, that is hiding under the huge, strong empire. But Lumix has something that other brands can't have. And that could be the huge reason to switch to Lumix. So if you're Lumix user, or even if you're not, I guess you've heard this before. Image stabilization.
Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. Cause I'll be on the way. Yeah. You know I'll be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I'll be on the way.
This time, I'm gonna show you guys something super interesting, putting my pride on the line. I'm gonna testify the greatness of the Lumix IS performance by competing a tough opponent, GIMBAL, ZHIYUN Cinepeer WEEBIL 3E. So, it is known as the super lightweight and budget gimbal with a professional performance and amazing usability and mobility. The question is, how far can the Lumix camera fight against the gimbal, this WEEBIL 3E? If you're a Lumix user, do you still need a gimbal? Why not? Let's test it in some scenarios. Release your potential ability.
This video is brought to you by ZHIYUN.
So the intro you just saw was shot on S5 IIX on the ZHIYUN Cinepeer WEEBIL 3E. So this is actually the best possible and realistic gimbal choice for most of you guys in general. It is super lightweight, compact, but it got a 3kg payload and great usability and mobility. I will dive deep in this setup later. And of course, S5 IIX is gonna be always a normal IS mode. And against this setup, where the hell is it? Where is it? I'm gonna use Lumix S9. Even though it's a compact light, it has a professional video performance, especially IBIS is crazy. I guess it's the top level in the market right now. So I think it's gonna be the interesting game. Okay, now let's start from the simple pan and tilt camera move. Right now I'm using a 50mm prime on S9 and the electronic IS standard. It's just simple left to right pan. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, you know what? I can't talk. I mean, it has a great IBIS performance, but I have to focus on the camera move. Like if I, do this while I'm talking, I think it's gonna be a little like not shaky, but it's not like a straight. It's not gonna be very smooth pan action if I don't focus on it. See, like that. So I gotta do like that. So what about tilt? Yeah, it's pretty good. So now you're up gimbal. I'm using a pan follow and just normal IS. I guess it's gonna be pretty easy. Just like that. And I'm not trying so hard, to stabilize the footage because the gimbal is doing it. What about tilt? Easy. I mean, not just stable, not just easy. The start and stop motion is so good. Like it gradually starts and it gradually stops. There's an ease in, ease out. So when it comes to the simple pan and tilt move, there wasn't a big difference in image stabilization performance itself. It just gimbal makes it easier. You don't have to try to stabilize, but think about the simpleness of that shot. Just handheld S9 is a lot easier. You just want to pan and tilt camera move. Why don't you just, handhold S9 and try your best? That's my honest feedback so far. When it comes to the IS, it is so important how much shake you can reduce. So like I have been talking in the channel, Lumix cameras have amazing IBIS performance, but the thing is, how much do they fight against the gimbal? Especially in the walking shots, like this type of camera move. Let's test. Right, so now let's start from Lumix S9 with a 50mm prime lens. I wanted to make it a little tricky, a little difficult, because 18mm is too easy and it can kill the shake if it's a little. But 50mm, yeah, it's gonna produce the shake if you don't try so hard. Now I'm using the electronic IS standard. Okay, as I can see, there is no huge up and down shake, but the camera moves a little quickly, not too rapid, but it moves, and it's really, hard to hold. So the great thing about the gimbal is, you don't have to make a lot of effort, especially if you're just walking like this. If it's S9 with, just a camera IBIS, you gotta put your energy on stabilization. But, just chilling, just walking, and the footage is super smooth. Come on, oh my god. And you know what? This gimbal has this, I don't know what to call it, the rest. It's, so easy to hold a gimbal. So the difference starts to be there from this topic. S9 is doing pretty good job, but even when it's electronic IS, you gotta make effort to stabilize the footage by doing ninja walk. But on gimbal, you don't have to care about anything. Gimbal does everything for you. By the way, if you use electronic IS high on S9, the performance will be so much better, although you get a big crop like this. I wouldn't say it has the same IS performance as gimbal, but definitely other brands' camera are not capable of doing this. So the test has been going so well so far. S9 is fantastic, but more than that, did you notice that how this gimbal was doing a fantastic job as well? So now let me talk about this ZHIYUN Cinepeer WEEBIL 3E. This is something I really want to recommend to you guys. It's compact, light, and portable. It got a legit IS performance, but it's A4 paper size, and it has 3kg payload. And even this big setup can be on it. But this is $250. Come on. $250. But as I have been showing you guys in this video, its performance and usability are crazy. First of all, it only weighs about 2.2 pounds and the design is so simple. There are joystick, Bluetooth, shutter button, mode selection button, power and setting and wheel, another wheel right here and the custom trigger. And you can go with a normal grip mode or with this sling, which is evolutionary useful. When you shoot a low angle footage, it is so easy to hold the gimbal. You can even hold it with, only a few fingers. The usability gets super well with this sling. So this time I changed the setup so many times, like change the lens and take the camera off the gimbal and put it on again, so many times, meaning I balanced it so many times. But in my opinion, this is the easiest. So this got a lock on each axis, which makes it easier to balance each, and you do the balancing same as ordinary gimbal, but after that gimbal calibrates it automatically and you just wait. Then the gimbal is ready. How easy it is. This is exactly why I was able to use this gimbal through the video. I used to hate the gimbal because of the balance. I hate to do that, but ZHIYUN gimbal made it easy. So that's why I really love this product, this gimbal, and I can recommend this to you guys confidently because of the easiness and also the professional IS performance. When it comes to modes, they are pretty simple. It got pan follow, lock follow, POV, vortex, and portrait. And of course you can change the speed and smoothness. So the performance is of course great as I showed you, but I liked the usability more. Like when you're on the pan follow mode, you can switch to go mode if you press this trigger. By the way, go mode allows you to move your gimbal quickly. So while doing that, it's gonna be go mode. So you can combine those two modes in a one shot. The intro of this video was shot on that combination. Also, this got a native portrait mode. Displays can accept two ways, so you can physically place the camera vertically. So next topic will be so interesting for both of them. Let's move on. All right, next let's do some creative shots. So right here, there's a little like a small bridge and the small river right here. So I'm gonna something like a starting from this and going back and pan to right and show this woods. 18mm S5 on gimbal. So I'm gonna use this handle. Sorry, S9. But yeah, I can use what I have. So I'm gonna start from here and going back slowly show the forest. So I can imagine this will be so hard because when you use electronic IS high or even electronic IS standard, there will be the camera motion if I move the camera. But I have to move the camera, so I think I'm gonna go with a normal IS for this shot. Okay, starting inside of this, let's do it. Slowly going back. Okay. Okay. Nice. So this gimbal finally started to show its true color. First of all, S9 was crazy. I honestly didn't expect this much, but when I was doing the same thing on a gimbal, I was still not 100%. I mean, like I still got some space for, the creativity. But I got pretty much no creative space left when I was using S9 because all I was doing was to focus on stabilizing the camera. So this is the big difference. If you use a gimbal, you can have a wide perspective. Like you can check other stuffs like composition, focus, and exposure. But with a handheld, it is super difficult to have that point of views. And that gets bigger if I move bigger. I will say this so many times, but S9 is unbelievable. It just broke the general knowledge like you can't run with a handhold. But its footage is usable if you don't pursue the perfect IS. Definitely this performance will help you. But at the same time, I couldn't check the camera monitor because I was running so hard. So after all, I was struggling to keep the subject in the center all the time. But the gimbal solved it perfectly. All you gotta do is just running and try not to drop the equipment. You can afford to check the image quality. I guess I just hit the conclusion of this topic. So let's move on to the conclusion part. Okay, this is it. How was it? Me? I ran a lot. But not just ran, come on, think about outside running in Japan and this season, come on. But it was totally worth it if you guys enjoy this video. So the gimbal, the camera's IBIS is getting better and better every year, and talking about Lumix, come on, oh my god. But the question is, do you need a gimbal? My answer is not necessarily. I mean, you can shoot without a gimbal. Even there's a camera move, you can handle it with a handhold. Even there's a big motion like running, it's still usable, but the quality is a different topic. You can do those things without a gimbal, but the quality is not the best. Because you're gonna have to focus on stabilizing footage and eventually you can commit to the detail. And here, the gimbal comes in. It can assist the IS part and it can leave you the creative space so you can focus on other important stuffs. You know what? Image stabilization is not something that we human have to do. Just give it to the AI technology and let's use our human sense for something that AI can't do. With that being said, the gimbal is something like a creative companion that supports humans to do their creative works. So if that's, I want gimbal to blend in our everyday life. To achieve that, it gotta be compact, light, and portable, and easy. But has to be legit. That's why I can confidently recommend this ZHIYUN Cinepeer WEEBIL 3E to you guys, especially if you're about to buy your first gimbal. The link in the description below, so if you guys are interested, just go check it out. You don't know how much potential ability you have inside of you. For example, even if you can't lift 70-kilogram chunk of metal, you probably can if your kid is buried underneath. Sometimes you perform more than you can because of the external influence. There is a time when our true ability is released by the evolutionary technology. And I think it is a great idea to rely on it sometimes, as long as you are yourself. Okay, this is it. If you have any question, just shoot me anytime, anywhere. And if you like this video, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. じゃあまた。
Switch it